Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Day of the Video. Darren, how's it going today? Today, it is a Wednesday, and we are back home from work, and we are just starting cooking dinner and stuff. Laura said she texted me when she left work, and she texted me a while ago, but she didn't say she'd left work. And I've just realised that she texted me, I've read the text, and then I've just twigged that maybe this was her telling me that she'd left work. So I'll just put some dinner on. But otherwise, I've come back from work. I need to actually reboot my computer. Is that video uploaded? Yes, it is. Yes. Close. Okay, is that the one I've saved? Saved, yep, okay, well, fuck off then. So I'm gonna have the curtain closed in here because the sun is blinding. That's a point. I haven't had my sunglasses in my car since we came back from holiday because they've been in my holiday bag. So every time I go to work or come back from work and it's sunny, i.e. today, I get blinded by the goddamn sun. So we're going to have to remedy this scenario right now. What's been going on though today, ladies and gentlemen? I'm hoping my sunglasses are in his bag somewhere. One, she's only just left, so I wasn't wrong, but just put the oven on anyway. I think I literally just put the sunglasses back in my bag. Like a dick. Oh no, I've put it by my phone, that's fine. What's going on? So got up this morning, headed on into work at the normal time. I set my alarm for 6:15 this morning, didn't want to get up at 6:15, I got up at 6:30. It's taken a toll figuring out how to, waking up in the morning and not being able to shower myself awake. It's taken a toll, to say the least. Which is irritating. I'm actually going to put the shower back on and I'm going to see if it works. Because it's been so long now and it just hasn't worked. Oh, fuck's sake. It's beyond a joke, more or less now. It's been 5 days we've had without a shower. And I'm not impressed, is the short answer about that. But got up. Eventually, headed on into work, got there on time, and I've been working on cat testing today. I seem to be hitting about 15% code coverage a day. I'm on now something like 87.5 code coverage of this method. I know for a fact there's going to be some areas that I can't hit because of the nature of what it is that I'm trying to test. There is a section where if I could hit that if statement, I would have hit a previous if statement and never have reached that if statement. Because that's just the nature of how it's been designed. So I think I'm going to hit about 95% and then it's going to be like, you've hit it all, Jamie. And that's going to be fine by me. I know that I've hit everything that I need to hit. But the further on through the code that I get, the harder it becomes to actually do things. It's a lot harder to get 2% now than it was to get 10% really early on. So it's taken me a long time, and each thing I do, the nature of the thing that I'm about to tackle is quite difficult. But that's fine, isn't it? Lunchtime was spent doing my own stuff, so I worked on my own project, and that was pretty much that, really. Came back home, sorted out my daily vlog, and I'm talking to you. Laura bought some minstrels yesterday to go to the cinema, and she needs to take them away from me. She needs to come back before they all go. Fucking love me some minstrels, boys. And just uploaded a video. Well, I say that, a video went live of me walking around, giving you a tour of the hotel we were at in Tunisia. And by Tunisia, I obviously mean Morocco. And in that video, people have commented that I keep saying all the time, and it's annoying. And I can only apologise for that. I was obviously in a holiday mood and was saying more than I think I normally do. Combination of that and /or, I was in a holiday mode and either not very good at vlogging or not very good at thinking. But I am now becoming highly aware of all the times that I'm doing it. What I normally do when I try and do these videos is I essentially try and remove as much silence as possible. Many of you may know I don't technically edit these videos, I just kind of whack them all the files together and put them online. Very rarely do I actually go through and edit them. So, oh Christ, all of the jumps are me turning the camera off and starting it again. So very early on I got very used to being able to figure out what I was going to say in a chunk of a video, say it, cut the camera, carry on. And now over the times I've either got lazy with the editing, with my editing, and therefore not planning what I'm going to do, and then kind of cutting it, and then just trying to carry on talking, trying to carry on making noise until I get to a point where I can cut the camera. I'm hoping it's that, because that means that I'm going to be continuing to try to say things even though I don't know what I'm going to say, which is why I'm saying all the time. See? I'm like trying to carry on talking to keep the momentum, the energy going, and it's not working. Because I used to measure a good video by the amount of clips that were in it. And that would basically give me an interpretation of like how many cuts there were, and that would be a rough estimate on the kind of momentum that the video had, and therefore how interesting it would be. Obviously it's not as simple as that, but that's how an early metric that I would be able to gain from the videos. Either that, or I've just become irritated and I say all the time. I don't know. Either way, Laura's not actually going to be back for a bit. Let's cook dinner for 7. She'll be back by 7. Let's turn that off for a little bit. And then, like, I don't want to finish it either before she gets back or she gets back and like immediately has to eat, because she says she finds that irritating. And I say, you shouldn't be at work till 6, do you finish at 5? Also, I had an interesting dilemma that I came across today. As I was working on my own project, I hit a scenario where I had this is like a theoretical scenario. I've now decided that actually inheritance isn't the best way to do what I want to do. But let's assume that you have a base class. A base class has like 3 methods on it. You then have a class that extends onto that class. It adds a method on using whatever means. It extends the method, but it also implements all of the other methods. But it doesn't implement it themselves. So it's kind of got, this method here has this class here, sorry, has 4 methods on it, one of which is its extension, the other 3 are all direct copies of the base. And literally all it does, it doesn't even implement them, it doesn't even overload them, it just calls the base directly. The question is, should you, when testing, unit testing, the extended class, should you test the methods that you are calling from the base class? I.e., if you, like, obviously you test the one that you've added, but because you're not writing any code for the other 3 methods, should you write a test that essentially does it? The obvious answer is no, because you shouldn't duplicate tests. You shouldn't have 2 tests in different areas that do the same thing. That's silly, obviously. But I think it's important to test that. I think it's important to test that even though you are literally directly calling the base, that is, while you haven't coded anything, that is the desired outcome. And therefore, it needs testing in some way. Whether that is by mocking the base class somehow, which is very difficult, and then testing to make sure that the base class actually got the call, or whether it's by some other means, I don't know. I think that that kind of thing is a worthy test. And it's like a deliberation between, by writing that test, you stop someone accidentally changing the code or overloading it and then losing the functionality, therefore changing business logic. The other argument is, well, if I haven't written the code, then I shouldn't have to test it. I should wait, the person who overrides it should write the code. I think that's an interesting problem to sit about, basically. If an extended class implements methods that belong to another class and just directly calls upon them, should you test them or not? Or should you wait, should you essentially not do it? Because there may be no way of testing those methods without directly duplicating the previous tests. Like I say, I think that you should test them. They should either be simple enough, like you should either test the base class on its own merits, or you test all of the extended classes and then duplicate tests across them and hope you don't have 1,000 of them and hope they're not complicated. Or figure out a way of being able to essentially decouple it so that you can put a mock in its place. And that is essentially what I decided to do. I've realised that what I'm actually doing, there is no logical reason why this thing has to be an extension of the original class. There's no reason why I might use one of the methods on the base class. apart from the fact that, like, semantically it kind of makes sense that they are more or less the same thing, except this gives you slightly more information, but it could not give me the core information. Nothing, I wouldn't lose anything. So in my scenario, because of the thing that I've developed, I don't need to extend the class in the first place. I just basically have an entire new class, and then I just inject the base, which isn't a base anymore. But yeah, I wondered where other people would sit on that, because obviously I sit on a very my idea of testing is very thorough compared to most people's, and I would say that even though I haven't written any code, my desired code is that this method works in a specific way. Even though I haven't coded it directly myself, I want this class to act in this way, therefore I should test it. The easiest way to test that will be to mock the base, which is only possible in some scenarios. I think it's possible if you did with shims, probably possible that way, because then you could just mock all instances of the base, which would technically be your thing, and then you get in a washy area because you're mocking something that you're testing. But tomatoes. Yeah, so I wondered where people sat on that. Hopefully I've explained that problem enough. Let me know next month, by the time this video goes live. Yeah. And ladies and gentlemen, it is time for bed. It is nearly 1 o'clock in the morning. It's 1:45. Not as late as I'm used to doing, but I'm slowly ramping up the work. I've also managed to start work a lot earlier than normal. Laura went to bed really early today. She just was zonked for some reason. So she came back, had some dinner, we watched Bake Off, and halfway through Bake Off Laura fell asleep. So she went to bed basically just after 9, which is ridiculously early. And then I watched the tail end of the Louis Theroux thing on Jimmy Savile, which was fucking incredible, as all Louis Theroux things are. And I have been programming since. I've kind of been lacking the willpower to do this kind of thing again, like dive into work all the time. Whether that's because of the things I'm doing at work, whether it's because of the holiday, I don't know. Either way, I'm getting back into it now and I'm forcing myself into it. I didn't want to start with, and then I dived into it, did a load of work, and then moved, and then I nearly finished about 45 minutes ago, and I'm like, nope, I'm going to do this bit. Instead of saving this bit for tomorrow lunch, I'm going to do it now, because tomorrow I'm going to be busy. I'm heading off into Bristol City Centre after work for another one of them meet-up things. An exciting one as well, so we'll see. But yeah, that's about all, ladies and gentlemen. I've been fighting with how I'm managing configuration files and the amount of what is shared, because I have several configuration files based on what you're configuring. So I have a core configuration file that has all the core information, but then I have different configuration files for like different compilers or different test runners and all that kind of malarkey. So that's that really. Oh yeah, that is good fun. What else is the dealio? That's about it. So I got myself in a drum by saying earlier about the different types of inheritance. For if you were to extend a class, I was originally going to extend the core class to include all of the additional extras, but it doesn't really make sense. I may as well have a generic reader and then just have the different types run through that. There's no need for me to access the core settings from the MS Builder compiler, and I was just like trying to be clever with inheritance, so I didn't need to. So that's good. What I now have is I have a generic configuration file handler which can read and write, and then I have different things on top, so they'll perform basically validation to make sure that each one is valid at like that level, and then it gets spit back out. So we're like this nice separation. But yeah, so tomorrow I will carry on with that. Also carry on with cat testing, because I can't get enough of it. And yeah, time to go to bed. Thank you very much for watching this video, ladies and gentlemen. It's Thursday tomorrow, like I say, exciting stuff after work. So I'll keep you taking along with that for me. What? I'll catch you later.